27% of renewable energy in the year 2025. And then 3 years later, in its manifest for the renewable energies, he wrote down in the year 2020, 35%, in the year 2030, 50%. A lot of dynamic processes. I don't think so that these people tell the right answers. I don't think they lie. But these are also not the right answers. And look at the European Commission. They make, okay, also 20 years ago, a scenario, baseline scenario. They told us in the year 2007, in the 15 states of the European Union, the 15 states, at this time in 96 there were 15 states, we have 7 billion watts of million watts installed energy for wind. But then in 2007 we have more than 700% installed. At the same time, they look forward to the year, not only to the year 2007, they also look to the year 2020. They told us wind and solar energy will be at 30,000 megawatts. But some years ago, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, we have more than twice. Two years later, 96, 98, the same group, the European Commission, told us against something. Until the year 2020, wind, solar, but we reached the wind energy more than, and also the solar 10 years later. Only 10 years later, we reached this, what they told us, we need more than the double time. European Wind Energy Association, 1990. Look out for 10 years later, also what they told and what we built. Also to look forward 10 years, everything is the same. But my favorite is this chart. Well, the International Energy Agency, the World Outlook 2002, they told us in the year 2002 the wind energy reached 71,000 megawatts in the year 2030, the European Union. Only 20 years later, reached completely. Solar energy, only 6 years later, more than twice. The wind energy worldwide, only 6 years later, completed. The International Energy Agency don't tell us things for renewable energies, So people who work there want to stop the renewables, and they want to get the fossil energies. Because they told us other things. In 2005, they told us that a barrel of oil, something about the barrel of oil for the next years, what I want to tell with this line. For the next 20 years. They couldn't told us that. I know, they told real bullshit. I know it. Let's take the next line. I don't know what I want to tell you. Here, in 2007, they told us that the barrel oil will reach $62 at the year 2030. First it will rise a little bit and it's swinging. And the normal price will be $72 for a barrel. They told us in 2007, and so this time with $62 will be until 2030. At this point, they told us a barrel of oil costs $100. What's that for an answer? And the last sheet looks to another renewable technology called Desertec. Desertec is a group of firms. For example, Siemens left Desertec some weeks ago. In the years 2001 till 2010, in Germany, we spent 96 billion euros in renewable energies. And in the energy mix, we rise the renewable energies of 70%, of 13%. To get in our energy mix 13% renewable energy, we have to pay 1 billion euros. Why told us? Let's see to Desertec. Desertec will start to get energy from the desert, the African desert, to Europe, to the European Union. Desertec will bring us in 2050 the energy. 50% of our energy mix will come from Desertec, and the whole project Desertec will cost 400 billion euros. At a quarter, 100 billion have to pay Germany. At the same price, we get the same energy from the energy mix. Not less, not more. But this is real, and that should come in 40 years. Why have we to wait? There's no reason to wait. Okay, there could be one reason. The costs. In Berlin, they try to build for the airplanes a new airport. In Hamburg, they try to build a new house for the music, for Philharmonie-Gebäude. All these big buildings. In Stuttgart, they try to build a railway station under the earth. All these big projects with a cost only one way, up, 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 up. And so, I think this will be happened here also. But this, we see it. Desertec isn't the program to take this one in the desert. Desertec is a concentration solar power. You make warm water or other fluid. You warm it up. And then if you warm it up, you make with a warm fluid your electricity. Have you seen something like this today? Oh, today. I mean this. Let's change the size again to that. Yeah, you make your water hot. You have the same process. Again, if you take your fuel core with radioactivity, if you take the cone, everything is the same at this point. And so, okay, it's a gas turbine, it's this. But if you take your concentrated solar power, you also get your warm water with your turbine, your generator, and you have also cooled it down. And what's the problem in the desert for cooling down? No water, no river, no ocean. That's the reason why we call it desert.
And I have oil.
They also are building this concentration solar power plants in the desert. For example, in Abu Dhabi, with an output of 100 megawatts, one of the biggest at the moment. They're cooling with water, with air instead of water. Must build real big cooling.
Towers.
Cooling towers. This is normal, this kind. And it is expensive. So, in Abu Dhabi, they get a payment for 30 euro cents per kilowatt hour for the next 25 years. At the next one, they say, okay, we can learn and make it better, in a better way. But we also need 25 euro cents per kilowatt hour for the next 25 years if they build the second one. And at the other way, Desertec comes to us and told us it will cost between 5 and 6 euro cents the kilowatt hour. And what need we? If we get the power here in this program, the people in the desert get electricity, in the towns and so on. Short distance. If they build this, they have to get the electricity grid through 40 different countries. a lots of kilometers, and inclusive, the energy grid is inclusive in this price also, integrated. That's the point I couldn't believe. I thank you for listening. This real interesting English from me.
Yeah, so great.
Next question. Can you back to the diagram for the load?
Yep.
Yes. When you don't have this atomic energy, so how to handle this base load, Greenlands?
Yeah. With different renewables, we must build more renewable power than the nuclear power plant is. Also a mix between wind, solar, and we must to look how can we
Stop.
store. How can we store the energy, or how can we change the other energy users? For example, my fridge. Okay, it's a little small problem. My fridge every time takes the energy when he thinks he needs, it's too warm inside. If I take a salt kind, latent energy, you can, you have some paraffin, some oils, some salt kinds. They don't have the energy in the temperature. You warm it up or cool it down, like a rock. They are changing between fluid and fast, solid. You have here those three kinds: solid, fluid, gas, for each stuff. And in the change between solid and fluid, the temperature is for each stuff, for everything different. You can take power in and get it out. And if you take something which has this changing point at 7 degrees, put it in the fridge, outside the fridge, so you can put the energy to the fridge to cool it down at a kind when you have too much energy, and get it and use the cooling temperature a long time. So you can every time at this point say to your fridge, take your energy for the next 2 days. Real little, bigger in cooling houses. You have to make a lot of little points at this, for example. You have to look at your region. To generate your electricity in your region, so that you're more interested at the moment, that you're looking when use I the electricity. I use the electricity at that time when I know I generate it. And energy must become more expensive. So it's for you a little bigger thing that you have to sparen, save. Yes. You don't waste it. In Germany we have a system called gelber Sack for waste. Your neighbor is looking to you if you put the wrong waste in the wrong bottle. And they come and say, hey, you take plastic in the paper. That's not good. But nobody comes to you if you let your light the whole night running. Not interested. There must be a change. Okay, this is a point to get everything down, not how can we make energy if we have no wind and it's dark in the night. But first we have to get down with everything and electricity, so it's more easier to storage. You don't have so big storage. In Wolfenbüttel, for example, they are thinking about if they can make a water pump storage in Wolfenbüttel only 40 meters. And they think, yeah, perhaps let's look if it's possible. They don't know, they are thinking, they are calculating. I want that the energy gets more from the region. Other people, like Desertec, told us we make the solar energy in the desert and the storage in Norway. There's a lot of fjords, high mountains, a lot of advantages there, but a long distance. And I think we must get it, must solve the problem here at the region. I have no answer, I have no concept to tell you this and this and this and then we reach it. That is it. It's a long way. It's try and error.
Especially for your industrial company, something like that, how to handle this? Because they have very reliable electricity, so you can imagine that when you produce like a very difficult thing, for example, for the electronics product, yeah, or maybe your car industry. So I'm not. Is this also difficult? I think to change this. Yeah. How about your opinion?
Eisenerz, iron ore.
Oxide.
Iron ore. If you get the iron out of the mining.
Geothermal.
One moment.
In Salzgitter, we have a big factory for
Iron ore. that's
iron
right.
ore.
Yeah.
We have a big factory for iron. To get iron ore and coal.
Yeah.
They take, I think, 1% of the primary energy used from Germany in Salzgitter. But they rebuild their power plants because in this process they have a lot of waste products, gas waste products, they also burned. They take it out of the process, storage it again, and have gas for the next process. For a lot of years, they only let it in the air. Now, they collected it. Then they have temperatures with water temperatures. They go back, they normally must cool down. So they have Fernwärme. They put the city, they get warm water for the city, for the houses, for the normal living houses, for warming. And so they fixed it to get a lot, to save a lot of money, to save a lot of energy. Also, these guys couldn't can lower their energy. And the next point is, why have we at the Rhine a lot of industrial for iron? Because at the Rhine there was a lot of coal mines a lot of years ago, and you need 1 cubic meter of iron ore and 4 cubic meters of coal to get the iron. And it's easier to get the iron ore to the cone than the cone to the iron ore. At the moment at the Rhine, they have also no iron core and no cone. They closed the coal mines. They're empty. But they are also the fabrication for iron. Why? We have to go with this big energy using products to areas where we have a lot of energy. Renewable energy. 100, 200 years ago, the humans do this. Only at the moment, they told us, we do this here every time, we will do it tomorrow also. It's real important if they leave Germany that they use the energy renewable, because it's real easy to get the cone to the Rhine or to other places. Then they have to make it renewable.
What is your opinion, Alex?
I think there are a lot of possibilities and ways to make it happen. We have also biogas systems. We have wind system, and it's a mix. We can maybe use our network for gas, maybe as a storage, and I think there are a lot of ways. But I think in the end, it's a question of interest. There are a lot of strong companies and they have interest to earn a lot of money. So one atomic power plant earns 1.5 million or billion per day. It earns from million per day from an old one. And this is such a strong power, and they are not interested to stop it. And they have a lot of influence, and I think there are a lot of ways we have seen that how fast these changes can come. Yeah. So you have seen the numbers from Udo Dettman. I felt it. Nobody believed that we can make so fast changes, and I think there are a lot of ways possible, but it's the question of the interest of the people, of who has the force, and are they interested or are they not interested, and it's also And the people don't. There's an interest of the people not to tell the honest truth. So everyone tries to manipulate it a bit, and to argue in his own interest. And so I think this is also a problem that
with the green energy, the renewable. Here in this area we have the big firm E.ON. one of the big fours in Germany, who decided which firm has which area of Germany